Hey, what's up guys, Rep here. So recently on social media, there's been another round of conversations about male loneliness and men's mental health in a general sense. These conversations were largely spurred on by this video uploaded to YouTube by Shoe on Head, and regardless of how you feel about some of her other opinions, it's a really good video and it explores some topics that a lot of other content creators are actively ignoring. Now, she lists several factors as the reasons that she believes are behind this male loneliness epidemic that we're currently witnessing, which includes technology, dating apps, low wages, the housing crisis, alienation, the media, the left not speaking to men enough, the feeling of having a lack of purpose, and curiously, she says the things she didn't blame was women, which of course Twitter would ignore. But nonetheless, I find this video to be very interesting for a lot of reasons. I think it really looks at the hypocritical treatment of men's mental health by society for a group of people out there that claim that they're always battling toxic masculinity. When men come out and try to share the struggles that they're facing, they're often met with either indifference or they're told that they deserve what's happening to them. And there's two particular reasons I want to talk about this video. Number one, I think it's very important to recognize that a woman uploaded this video. And it's important because for a lot of men watching that video, it was validating to see a woman at least try to identify some of the issues that men are facing in society. And when men feel comfortable in that sense and feel validated, they're a lot more likely to share their opinions and their struggles. And that's leading into the second reason I found it very interesting, and that's because of the comments section. And it's a very enlightening sharing of all of the users' struggles they face as a man. And honestly, I can't beat around the bush. It's very depressing because we all know that any man watching this video, you've experienced at some level male loneliness, mental health issues, and you understand that society often shames men or puts pressure on them to keep their feelings inside. And when men feel comfortable, they will share their feelings. And I think every man would like to be able to share the struggles they're going through. And given all the factors going on with this video, clearly the audience watching it felt comfortable enough to share their feelings in the comments section, which we're going to look at now. We're going to look at the top rated comments, and I'm not going to add any commentary because they really just speak for themselves. As a guy, all I want is for someone to care about me besides my mom and dad. Man, why does men's health have to become political? Why can't society just treat us with respect like they want for everyone else? When you ask yourself, why am I not putting an end to my suffering, and the only argument is it would make my mother sad. It doesn't feel good, bros. Like, just imagine strolling up to a suicidal person going, don't be a rapist, and thinking you did a good job. I love how often they are saying, oh, you can't get laid, boo-hoo, when we talk about men being lonely as if all we care about is sex, when most of us just want someone to hold us at night and feel seen. Sex is nice, and it's easy to think it's gonna fix everything if you just get laid, but really it's not. Men need intimacy in more forms than just effing. If I kill myself, my parents will be devastated, is the only thing that kept me going for a while. Being a man is listening to everyone's problems and not being able to express our own. We are all in this stuff together, yet somehow this is us versus them. The loneliness is not having sex takes reek of people taking their relationships for granted. I don't miss having a girlfriend because of sex. I miss walking into a room and someone being genuinely happy to see me. It's a feeling so powerful I could weep if I focused on remembering what it was like. One side says, you matter, I can help you, and the other says, this is all your fault, and you have no idea how much worse you deserve, and it's some mystery who men would rather listen to. I had no idea 1 in 5 men don't have any close friends. I'd convinced myself it was just me. I think that's a key to us dudes getting better, realizing we're not alone. As a man dealing with loneliness, it's nice to hear at least one girl worry about us besides our mom. Thank you, Shu. Unbelievable. They always talk about toxic male toxicity, but the moment our issues are talked about, we're told to grow up. So I think it's very obvious that these people in the comments section, these men, feel completely outcasted simply because of the fact that they're male. And before we get into some of the responses to her video, I think one of the other points raised in the video is, why are young men turning to people like Andrew Tate, for example? Someone who is very clearly a bad person. Well, the reason these people are turning to Andrew Tate is because they see no other alternative. Despite all of the failings with Andrew Tate, at the very least, he pretends to care about you as a man. Just pretending to care is how low the bar is currently, when everyone else out there is not only demonizing your existence, they're saying that you deserve all of the bad things coming to you simply because you're a man, and that's reflected in the comments we just read. But of course, as she releases these links to her video onto Twitter, she's met with the usual suspects on Twitter who had this to say. Who is we? We really don't give a F. They should try picking themselves up by their bootstraps. You don't understand the pleasure it gives me to see these men crying and depressed. Imagine losing in the world that is literally built for you. These men are 100% the most misogynistic demons on the planet and deserve every bit of loneliness they feel. Men are subhuman, and their loneliness can't be cured because they can't relate to actual human beings. Again, like we just talked about, who are these men going to lean on? These people? Do you think they want anything to do with you people? Do you understand why they have a chip on their shoulder when dealing with people like this, and why they're hesitant to share their feelings in any sort of a forum when they're met with not only disgusting reactions, but disgusting reactions that say that they deserve it and they're subhuman simply for existing as a man? But going forward, this wasn't the only arena for this conversation about male loneliness. There was a lot of separate tweets that came out of this, including this one right here that says, the solution to male loneliness is literally just being a better person. Wow, what sage advice. It's crazy. I guess, guys, I didn't realize it till now, but loneliness is attached to your quality of person. So if you're a good person, then clearly you're not going to be lonely. That's just how it works, right? And only bad people feel lonely. What an insane take. Like, you can be literally the nicest, most genuine, great person, but you can still feel lonely. And you can still feel depressed. You can still have issues like that despite having everything going your way and being a good person. That's not how these issues work. And it's so disgusting to see it trivialized to this degree where, oh, you have problems? Well, it's your fault because you're not a good person. And the thing that I want to point out here, 36,000 likes. This absolutely deranged and insensitive take has 36,000 likes. That's a lot of people. It has more support than people disagreeing with it. And of course, if you're a man seeing that, that can't feel good. I don't care how secure you are with yourself. I don't care how good your mental health is. It clearly won't help you seeing messages like this. And here's a similar tweet saying, here's some male loneliness discourse for you. Did you ever, at all, even for a second, consider that the problem is you? That maybe, just maybe, the reason you're lonely is that you are an awful human being. Truly, just awful. And that it's right that you're lonely. It's fair. Yes, it's fair. Anytime you feel lonely or bad about yourself as a man, you deserved it because it must have been fair, because you must be a bad person. Now, this whole thing about bad people saying that, woe is me, why am I lonely, and not recognizing that they're a problem, that is a gender neutral thing. This happens with men and women. It's not just men in that situation. But here they're focusing on male loneliness as some sort of a outlier, that it functions different than loneliness with women, where it's only reflecting on your quality of person. And again, if you're a man who's struggling with loneliness or mental health and your self-esteem and self-worth are low, tweets like this might really affect you. They really do. If you're already kicked down to the ground and now you see tweets with a lot of support saying that you deserve everything that's happening to you because you must be a bad person if you're lonely, yeah, they might take that to heart. And that's the problem, because these people don't actually care about anyone. They have no empathy. They have no care for anyone. They just simply want to write someone off because they're a misandrist, a sexist. They just hate men in general and look for any justification to kick them while they're down. But there is another couple of tweets I want to look at here. Basically, the message here is that apparently nothing is off limits when it comes to attacking men. So this thread, how it started is not super important, but basically on the male loneliness topic, this user says, pretending you don't understand the political baggage of the modifier male in male loneliness is really tiresome and disingenuous. Yeah, so they're basically saying that we can't ignore the fact that this male loneliness epidemic has male in it and that it's focusing on men. So there's something really, really bad here and that has a lot of political baggage when really it's just people struggling. So this user would reply with something that any Twitter freak would absolutely hate, and that's statistics and studies to back up their claims, where they show different things showing that men are increasingly becoming lonely and suicidal over the past couple of years at a rate that is much higher than women during this period. And of course, this person would say that these percent increases and percent differences between men and women is irrelevant and doesn't matter. But worst yet down here, let's read this. So let me give you context. So in terms of gay men rates, women attempt more times than men, but men are successful taking their own lives at a much higher rate than women. So in response to that statistic, this user says, women attempt suicide at higher rates than men, and the comparatively poor success rate is largely attributable to gendered difference in gun ownership and the fact that men don't think as much about who's going to have to pick up and be traumatized by their gruesome remains. Yes, what a take that is. Shaming men for ending their own lives and calling them selfish for doing it. Yeah, that's a hell of a take. Shaming people who took their own lives. Yeah, that's how far we've gone, where literally nothing is sacred, that you can openly mock men and call them selfish, even when they're taking their own lives, and you can get support on Twitter for that. It's absolutely crazy to me. But I want to end this video. I know it was very tough, a lot of very tough conversations here, and to the men listening to this video, there's a reason why, like Ken from the recent Barbie movie, has resonated with so many people. The bar is so low that being told you're enough has people going hysterical and making them unironically happy. That is a very sad reality that men are facing. And it's not to say women have their own struggles. Of course they do. Everyone's got their own struggles. But let's not treat a group of people like men differently simply based on their gender. That makes no sense, and it's wrong. And I think this video opened up a very good conversation on Twitter. It brings a lot of toxic people out of the woodwork, but it also brings an honest conversation that's something that needs more attention, and that is male loneliness and men's mental health. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to share all of your comments, all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.